The Jedi, guardians of peace, wielders of the Force, and the architects of their own downfall? That's right. For all their wisdom and power, the Jedi Order made some colossal mistakes that led to their destruction at the hands of the Sith and the rise of the Galactic Empire. Today, we're diving deep into the 10 biggest mistakes that doomed the Jedi. So, before we begin, hit that like button, subscribe for more Star Wars deep dives, and let me know in the comments. Could the Jedi have saved themselves, or was their fate sealed from the start? Now, let's break it all down. 1. Becoming too attached to tradition. The Jedi Order was thousands of years old, but instead of evolving with the galaxy, they clung to outdated traditions. They refused to adapt, even as new threats emerged. While the Sith evolved, experimented, and changed tactics, the Jedi remained rigid in their beliefs, convinced that their way was the only way. This stubbornness made them predictable and, ultimately, vulnerable. 2. The ban on attachment. One of the most controversial Jedi rules was their ban on emotional attachment. They believed that love, fear, and passion could lead to the dark side. But by suppressing emotions rather than learning to balance them, they created Jedi who were emotionally stunted and unable to cope with personal loss. Anakin Skywalker is the ultimate example. His inability to process his love for Padme led him straight into Palpatine's trap. 3. Ignoring the dark side within. The Jedi taught that the dark side was something external, something to be feared and avoided at all costs. But what they failed to understand was that darkness exists within everyone, and true strength comes from acknowledging and mastering it. By refusing to teach their students how to handle their own inner darkness, the Jedi left them vulnerable to manipulation by the Sith. 4. Their blind faith in the Republic. The Jedi were supposed to be peacekeepers, but they became deeply entangled in politics. Instead of serving the Force, they served the Republic, blindly following a corrupt government. By the time of the Clone Wars, the Jedi were no longer independent warriors of justice. They were generals fighting for a failing system. Their inability to recognize the Republic's decay left them exposed when Palpatine took control. 5. Failure to detect Palpatine. Darth Sidious, the most dangerous Sith Lord in history, sat in plain sight, rising through the ranks of the Republic and executing his grand plan right under the Jedi's noses. Despite their connection to the Force, the Jedi were completely blind to the growing Sith influence, proving that their ability to sense danger had been severely weakened. 6. Turning a blind eye to the clone army. The Jedi willingly took command of a clone army that they knew almost nothing about. They never questioned where the clones came from, who truly commissioned them, or why they were designed to be so obedient. Had they investigated deeper, they might have discovered Order 66 before it was too late. Instead, they marched straight into their own execution. 7. Mistrusting Anakin Skywalker. Anakin was the chosen one, yet the Jedi never truly accepted him. Instead of guiding him with wisdom and understanding, they kept him at arm's length, distrusted his emotions, and denied him the support he needed. This alienation made it easy for Palpatine to manipulate him, twisting his frustration and anger into Sith loyalty. 8. Their arrogance. By the time of the prequels, the Jedi believed they were untouchable. They saw themselves as the ultimate authority on the Force and refused to consider that they could be wrong. This arrogance prevented them from seeing the warning signs of their own destruction. Yoda himself admitted that the Jedi's arrogance had clouded their judgment. By then, it was too late. 9. Training too few Jedi. Despite their role as peacekeepers, the Jedi had strict rules about who could be trained. They only accepted young children, rejecting older Force-sensitive individuals who might have become powerful allies. Meanwhile, the Sith had no such restrictions, allowing them to grow their numbers in secret. Had the Jedi been more open to training new recruits, they might have had enough warriors to survive the Purge. 10. Underestimating the Sith. Perhaps their greatest mistake was underestimating the Sith. After Darth Bane established the rule of two, the Jedi believed the Sith were extinct. They ignored the possibility that the Sith could have adapted, hiding in the shadows, growing stronger in secret. By the time the Jedi realized the truth, the Sith had already won. The fall of the Jedi was not just the result of one mistake. It was a combination of arrogance, outdated traditions and a failure to evolve. They lost touch with the Force, became pawns of the Republic, and ignored the Sith threat until it was too late. But what do you think? Could the Jedi have avoided their downfall, or was it inevitable? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Star Wars lore. Until next time, may the Force be with you.